part of the role of a collector is sometimes to save it and to protect it and keep it from just going in the trash can.
Like a curator at the Louvre.
And these are my very early memories, probably as a 3, 4, 5-year-old kid staring at this.
David Robinson can take you on a tour through the ages.
So these are wooden statues, probably out of European churches, carved, hundreds of years old.
The man from Midlothian is amassing his own
Just so 1960s.
eclectic mix.
Collecting sort of like playing pinball. You get bounced from being interested in one type of collectible, will bounce you to another and bounce you to another.
Like David's colorful groupings of glass, ranging from the silly
Carnival glass, ruby flash.
to the sanctuary.
These are 2 stained glass windows out of a Brooklyn church.
David's trove of treasures is certainly hands-on.
My personal museum where I get to touch everything. And if I break something, I don't have to kick myself out.
He started buying his first gems at an early age.
Probably about 6 or 7 years old, stamps.
When other boys were playing outside, David was stockpiling inside.
Yes, and that translated to the kid that you beat up and the little geeky, wimpy kid that had no friends.
David can declare the difference between collecting and hoarding.
Make sure that you're buying the item with a purpose. Make sure that you're buying an authentic item.
It is a hobby he is still perfecting.
Nothing that you see in this house, Greg, will fit in a coffin. So you have to be thinking that we're merely custodians of old things.
The thrill is in the hunt, but David has learned not to become too attached.
But the highest form of collecting is letting go of stuff. The highest form of collecting actually is selling.
For a man who seemingly can cobble together just about anything, one haul has remained out of reach.
I started out with nothing.
Since he was a teen, David has been searching near and far for anything related to Charles M. Robinson.
That's him right there on the left.
Robinson may be the most famous Virginian you've never heard of.
I guess my whole life I've been chasing ghosts. Charles M. Robinson died in 1932.
The master architect left his mark on the city skyline.
These buildings are the fabric of Richmond.
In the early 1900s, Robinson designed schools, churches, college campuses, and venues still standing today.
So if someone were to say, what are Charles M. Robinson's greatest buildings? I would certainly say that right up there at the top is the Altria Theater.
Other Robinson design buildings include Albert Hill Middle School, First English Evangelical Lutheran Church, Stewart Circle Hospital, Franklin Military Academy, and Thomas Jefferson High School, among hundreds of others.
These exterior schools make a statement to a child going to that school that they're going someplace special.
It's not that David is consumed with construction. This collector's passion runs deeper.
This are the 3 things that started it all.
Charles M. Robinson is David's great-grandfather.
And those are his drawings.
David got hooked on family history ever since writing a boyhood book report on his ancestor.
Whatever happened to those plans? And where's the census of the buildings?
He hounded the firm which owned the architect's work.
Can I buy these plans? I asked that as a 13-year-old and they laughed.
The laughing lasted decades, turning down David's repeated offers.
These were the original plans drawn without computers.
David would not be deterred.
And many of these buildings aren't here anymore, and that's the only record.
His persistence finally pays off.
So last May, I acquired the 700 Charles M. Robinson plans from 1906 to 1932.
The accountant mortgaged his home to purchase the hand-drawn designs crafted by the relative he never knew.
So the collection could have been broken up by someone, sold on eBay.
David cataloged and organized the entire collection himself.
And last summer, I spent between 500 and 600 hours opening every box, every bag, every single plan I touched.
When UVA learned of the Robinson drawings, the university negotiated with David to acquire the entire collection.
So now the University of Virginia has the plans in their Alderman Library.
Knowing his great-grandfather's vision on paper will be kept whole and educate future architects was worth the effort.
The Charles M. Robinson plans are quite valuable because they're works of art.
He is a man who realized a childhood dream.
For me, the highest and best memory was when UVA's box truck pulled out of the driveway.
David Robinson, a collector who reached the pinnacle by letting go.
My great-grandfather made me the person I am because I look at his accomplishments and I go, I got a really big bar to get to.
In Chesterfield, I'm Greg McQuaid, CBS 6 News.